materials, you'll need foam balls in different sizes, one big, one small. I have some different colored foam paper and felt paper, brown for the hamburger patty, red and green for the tomato and lettuce. I have these mini cupcake holders and mini flower pots for the bottom of the ice cream cone. Next we have quinoa in place of sesame seeds for the hamburger buns, and then an assortment of different sprinkles. Next we have these eyelet screws and some colorful festive pipe cleaners. I have my different colored paints. We'll need an Exacto Knife, paintbrush, pen, scissor. Lastly, glue and water to wash my paintbrush in. Let's start with making our hamburger ornament. So we're going to take our Exacto Knife and cut our big foam ball in half. Kids, get your parents to help you with this part because it is quite dangerous and we don't want any accidents. Once you clean off the extra styrofoam, we're going to cut off a bottom piece from one of the halves, and this will be the bottom of our hamburger. With my yellow and brown paint, I'm going to mix my hamburger color. Once you're happy with the color, you can start applying the paint all over your styrofoam ball. If you're struggling to paint without getting it all on your hands, a toothpick helps. So I probe it and prop up my styrofoam, and I'm able to get to all the little edges a lot easier without leaving my fingerprints all over it. Before my paint dries on my hamburger patty, I'm going to sprinkle quinoa all over the top. You can use sesame seeds too if you can find them. Sprinkle your topping generously, then gently press it into the wet paint. Once the paint dries, your topping will stick to it. Once you're happy with the amount of topping, we can set it off to the side to dry. Next, let's make some ice cream. I'm going to probe my small foam ball with a toothpick just so I can paint all around it without touching the wet paint. I've decided on mint chocolate chip flavor, so let's mix some green and white paint to get our mint color. Once you're happy with the color, let's apply the paint generously all over our foam ball. Before my paint dries, I'm going to take my chocolate sprinkles and pour some on my work area so I can dip my foam ball into the sprinkle. You can use as much or as little sprinkles as you like. For me, the more, the better. Once you're happy with it, we'll set it off to the side to dry. The next ice cream flavor I'm going for is strawberry. So I mix some red and white paint to get the pink color that I wanted, and I'm going to apply it all over my next foam ball. I'm going for the colorful mini sprinkles this time, and instead of pouring the sprinkles on my work area, I'm just going to pour these directly onto my wet paint. Since I have an assortment of sprinkles, I'm going to add some red sprinkles as well, because why not? Once you're happy with the amount of sprinkles, we'll gently press it into the paint. While we wait for our paint to dry, let's make some hamburger patties with our brown foam paper. I traced out the circle with just a ramekin I had nearby. You can use any object to help you trace, as long as it's roughly the same size as your hamburger foam. Once I have my first hamburger cut out, I can use that as a guide to trace a second hamburger. I'm going to repeat that process on my dark brown foam paper. And I'll do the same for my red felt. Once I finish my tomatoes, I'm going to trace a bigger circle on my green felt for the lettuce. Alright, we're now ready to assemble our hamburger. I'm going to apply a generous amount of glue to my bottom hamburger bun, stick on some tomato. We'll repeat that process a couple times until you have all your hamburger fillings in there. When we get to the lettuce, I want to create a ripple effect around the edges. To do that, we give the sides a couple snips. And when you glue on the lettuce, you're just going to fold the slits on top of each other, just like this. The last layer to go on is the bun, and voila! You have yourself a tasty hamburger. You can trim the edges of the lettuce with some curved cuts to make it look more like a real lettuce. Well, I think this looks pretty good. We'll set it off to the side to dry while we work on the other ornaments. Let's decorate our ice cream cone before we stick on the ice cream. You can use your paint, but to make it easier, I found a gold Sharpie to draw in my lines of the cone. Once you finish drawing your line, we'll apply glue to the rim of the ice cream cone. And we'll stick on our ball of mint chocolate ice cream. We'll press down firmly to make sure the foam stays in place. I've decided to keep my other ice cream cone simple, so I'm going to forego drawing the lines and go directly to the glue and stick on my strawberry ice cream. Some little chocolate truffles on the side by painting the foam balls brown and using some chocolate sprinkles. The finishing touch will be placing our truffles in our little cupcake liner. Let's put some glue on the bottom of the liner. Our truffle, just like that. We'll give it a good press to make sure it stays in place. Okay, we're on to our very last step. Let's take our eyelet screws and twist it into the top of our foam balls. Next, we'll thread through our pipe cleaner and close it up at the top. You could also thread your pipe cleaner into your eyelet screws first before screwing it onto your foam ball. I do find this is a little bit easier, so I recommend doing it this way. We'll repeat this process a couple times until all your ornaments have their own little hangers. And we're done! Let's go see how these look on the Christmas tree. I really hope you enjoyed making this craft with me today. Thanks again to Center 64 for making it possible. I'll see you next time.